Can you hear me now?
It's
All right. So we've had a couple different weeks this last couple weeks. One, when going out to the prison, 2 weeks ago, they were locked down, so I wasn't able to do a church service. And it's just kind of odd when I can't do a church service out there. You know, I get set my routines and something throws out. And then this week, they had a concert going out there, and I couldn't preach out there again. So for 2 weeks, I haven't preached on Saturday. So it kind of throws me off. But the other part about it, it's been really good because that time that I got to spend a little bit more time in the Word, a little bit more time on reflection about our topic that we're talking about in Isaiah chapter 2, a glimpse of the Mellinium. And I just want you guys to think about this one thing. You know, we look at prophecy and we hear about all these judgments coming upon the earth, and we hear about all this gloom and doom. But what is our blessed hope? I want you to think about this for a second. Our blessed hope is the judgment of God. Our blessed hope is the reward of God to those who believe in Jesus Christ. And when we stand before Jesus Christ at the bema seat of Christ, we're going to be given rewards. And even if we haven't done anything for Christ, He's going to try our works, and we're still going to be coming in, as spoken of in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, at the judgment seat of Christ. The works of all the believers will be tried through fire, whether they be wood, hay, or stubble, or gold, silver, or precious stones. And yet, even if their works are all burned up, they still are coming into the kingdom of God. Now, when I first repented and came back to the Lord, I told a friend of mine I would much rather be a street sweeper in heaven than a king of hell. And it's true. I would much rather be sweeping the streets in heaven than being a king in hell. And so hand me that broom. Hand me that broom. You know, we all get worried about this fact that we know we're mature Christians, and we understand the scriptures that state the fact that if we do some good works before men, then you've already received your reward. Well, great, you received your reward. And you're not going to get one from Christ for that. So what? It's still nice. It's still great. It still feels good to do something just for the Lord. Right? And for other people. See, I think we get so caught up in the mechanics of everything, in the mechanics of prophecy, in the mechanics of Scripture, in the mechanics of our Christianity, that we fail to realize the nuances of a relationship. Do you do good works for your spouse and for your brothers and your sisters in Christ for a reward? No. Oftentimes you simply do it because you love the person. Right? And to ward off our own self-seeking interests all the time, the best thing you can do is to do good works for other people, is to get in and help other people. We need to simply remember that. But the awesome thing about all of this, the great thing about all this, because I have been misunderstood my whole life. I've tried throughout my entire life to do good things for other people, and oftentimes I muck it up. I really just make a mess of things. And people totally misunderstand what I was trying to do. But I know that God judges the heart. And every time you've been misunderstood, and every time somebody's thought different about what your motives were for trying to do something good for somebody else, God sees the heart and sees what your real motives were. Now that is both exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. It's exhilarating to consider that God would see your heart when you've tried your hardest and it just fell into the mud. And other times, it's terrifying when you just were faking it to make it. You know what I'm talking about? When you didn't feel like doing something and you just put on that fake smile and you went ahead and you did it anyway. But you know something? I think there is even a reward in that. Because if you consider that, if you think about that, you were thinking about others around you enough that you were willing to put your own garbage behind you and minister to them right where they're at. Last week we had a visitor. And last week was definitely a God thing. Wouldn't you say so, sweetheart? And we came in here, and Amy and I were the only ones in the church, and we thought, well, we'll just pray, and we'll see who shows up, and we'll just go there. But God had other plans, and we had decided a month ago, that we were going to do away with what's called meetup.com, which is a social networking site on the internet, to try and get people to come to church here, because it wasn't working. And so we canceled our subscription to them. But this guy actually come onto that site and saw us on there, and came here last week, and he's LDS. And so he got to be witnessed to last week. These are God appointments. These are divine appointments. And we were talking today about other people that we meet out in the community. I met a contractor out in the community this last week. And we got to talking about the Messiah. And he's some kind of Messianic, Jewish, something or other. And we get the opportunity to witness to these people. And it's just